Let's start. Okay, here's the audience. Okay. Thank you. Alright, there we go. Okay. Well, I have the map and stuff, so we're good there. Let's see here. So, out of all of Ohio, we have parks all around the state of Ohio. But did you know that only 2 of them are considered national parks? The majority of them are just little city parks, town parks, smaller parks. But the national park in Cuyahoga Valley is the largest in all of Ohio, and it's made up of several smaller parks. And they have just everything you would want to do there. Everything from dog walking trails, bird watching. There's canoeing and kayaking if you like to do that kind of thing as well. For bird watching, they have certain spots made up where you can go, and they specifically say, go here for this, go here for that, and they do a great job on telling people where to go. And then I've completed research on the national park along with other parks as well by doing some computer research on the national parks website database. And then also I've traveled to national parks all around the country. And this Cuyahoga Valley National Park is different because, like Zion National Park in Utah, Denali National Park in Alaska, the whole park is a park, just its own park. Like, no matter what part of the park you go to, you're in that park. But here, Cuyahoga Valley as a whole is made up of Brandywine Falls and the Everett Covered Bridge, and there's the O'Neill Metro Park that make it up. So it's a lot more, what's what I'm looking for? A lot more detailed than normal parks, I guess would be the right way to say that. Then I'm going to be talking about examples of the smaller parts of the park inside the large park, the animals in the observations that you can make in there, and also those little tiny towns and communities that make up the park itself. In Cuyahoga National Park, they have Brandywine Falls, Everett Covered Bridge. Beaver Marsh is a very popular spot as well. And there is another spot on the O'Neill Street, I believe it's called, where they make it better for people to be able to birdwatch. People can take their binoculars, sit on the side, there's benches and nice areas, and you can birdwatch the whole time. And then they have the town of Peninsula is right in the heart of the whole national park. Peninsula was one of the first establishments created in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. And they have buildings that go all the way back to 1800s there's a website called TripSavvy, and they did a survey about that park in 2019, or that city in 2019, that says the buildings, if you walk down Main Street, you can see the forest in the background, which is gorgeous. And then some of the buildings, there's old homes, and there's old establishments that are from the 1800s, what they say that's the main attraction to go to Peninsula to see. And then in Boston Heights, that's a popular spot because there's 2 highways that go on top of the park. It's the Ohio Turnpike and Route 76, I believe, or the 2. And the park goes underneath the 2 bridges, and there's 2 humongous bridges that go over the whole park, and there's a falcon that nests up there every year. So people like to go there to bird watch and see the falcon, see the babies. And there's also ponds and the hiking trail, and just so many options for this place as well, as a whole. And one of the main things about this park that makes it so popular is the Ohio and Erie Canal Towpath Trail. That is over 87 miles long, according to the Ohio and Erie Towpath Trail website. They want it to be up to 121 miles long by the time it's all done being constructed. But for now it's 87 miles, and it goes from the very southern point of the park to Cleveland. Their goal is to get all the way to Lake Erie. But for now, it is 87 miles, and it goes through places that I've mentioned, like Boston Heights and the Beaver Marsh. It goes right through there. So people like to spend a couple days, and there's lodging areas along the park trail as well. So if you park at the one part, you can go up top, just walk for miles and miles, stop at the end for the night, go up to the next part, stop at that part for the night, and so on and so forth. It's just, there's options everywhere, and it's just, in my opinion, one of my favorite places I've ever been in all of Ohio. And then one thing that I like about is they give you a lot of informational opportunities as well. They can, along certain trails, like there's a part called Deep Lock Quarry that used to be along the canal in the sides of the trail, and you can see where buildings used to be, but now they're all gone. There's just building stones on the ground, but now you can see or now that they're gone, they have informational brochures along the trail that say this is what this building used to be, this is what this used to be, this used to stand here, this was here. So that's a great informational learning experience as well, as long as it's in line with the park rangers. The park rangers are there not only to serve the community and help the land stay protected, but also to give us all the information we want. Because I've been very informative when I go up there. If I have a certain question about an animal, the land, how things are, I will ask. And they're more than willing to sit down, talk, or say, we'll go back to the visitor center, we'll have a chat, we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. So they're very knowledgeable and able to help as well. The Everett Covered Bridge is my personal favorite because the Cuyahoga River runs through there. The trail goes right by it. It's very just beautiful to see that trail with the snow all around it. And then my personal favorite experience was I was doing a photography photo shoot up there with some people, and the concert started. It's right next to Blossom Music Center, which is in Cuyahoga Valley as well. Not knowing Ozzy Osbourne and Stone Sour were about to start playing. So as I was working on this photo shoot, we got a free concert instead of having to pay to go. It was just free, and they just started playing, and we heard Ozzy's Crazy Train start, and then it was just a great day. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was the animals at the park. Beaver Marsh is one of the most popular destinations because there's beavers and river otters there. They're most active early in the morning, between 6 and 7:30 a.m. per the website for the park. So I've not seen any there myself, but they have beavers and river otters everywhere. They have over, again, according to the website, there's over 50 species of birds that nest there annually. So no matter what time of day you go, what time of year you go, you're going to see birds. There's ducks, geese, blue heron, over 50 species total. So there's just a bunch to see. That's one of the most popular spots for bird watching as well. And I know we've talked about how Cuyahoga Valley National Park is different because it's not just one giant park, it's so many smaller parks making up of a giant park. Talked about that, talked about the learning opportunities along the trails and the park rangers, and also the animals that are there with the deer. But you can see they're just everywhere because it's Ohio. No matter where you go, there's going to be deer everywhere. And then all over Beaver Marsh and those certain places as well. And then I decided to talk about this place and be informative about this location because it's just my favorite. I've been all over Ohio and around the country, but not everywhere has so much diversity and so much to do and see and learn than Cuyahoga National Park. So then I kind of wonder, it made me kind of open my eyes more to the beauty that was. And I keep finding myself wondering, why did it take me so long to go there to see? Why did it take me to start photography to start noticing more things like that? So now I go there all the time, and hopefully you guys will too. Thanks.
Thank you. How much was your time?
Over.
Would they rather you go